There we go. I think we need some sort of to go along with whatever. Like when it's sunshine day, but then like when it's rain, I would when it comes to when it
a little bit frisky.
Yeah.
That one? Is that Luke Bryan?
I think it might be Luke Bryan.
I think it is too. I get them confused. I get my Luke Bryans and my...
You get your Lukes mixed up.
Yeah, I do.
Not to be confused with Luke Skywalker.
No.
Completely different Luke.
Completely different Luke. We do need the rain we gotta...
Rain is a good thing.
We need it. You probably don't want it on the weekend or Monday Night Football, for instance, but we need it. We had a dry September, so I bet we get an October's worth of rain for some spots in a weekend.
Yeah. It's going to green the grass up rather quickly.
Yep.
Those weeds certainly going to grow rather fast as well.
That's the story of my yard.
Yeah.
But things have been a little spicy in the streaming room. Just in the last 10 minutes.
Have they been?
I feel like the tensions have been running.
Got some spice?
Like a little spice. A little
or
spicy.
Like some Creole, like Cajun spice.
We're going to settle it right on down.
Oh.
A little something spicy.
Oh, okay.
But we're going to bring it right, get the mood right. Everybody's going to be in a fantastic mood, and I insist on it.
Well, why don't we start off cooling it down a little bit, taking you to the radar, showing you where some of the showers are at. That's the live look out at Everbank Stadium.
They're downtown. They're with us. They're on top of us. Where that camera is, that's where we're located, and that's where they are. And we got that little line coming on shore, Ross.
Yeah, right downtown. You mentioned it, Lou. So really just to the north side of the St. Johns River there. Trout River seeing a little bit of some rain. South Ponte Vedra down towards the north sides of St. Augustine. Really kind of everyone around the Jackson Metro is at least seeing some misty conditions at the very least. A few of us getting a couple perhaps heavier downpours. I know it poured outside for maybe 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then lightened up a little bit. But yeah, clearly rain coming through San Marco, downtown. Kind of New Berlin Road up on the north side there, Orange Park, Fleming Island, all seeing a little bit of some rain. I'm really just rattling off just about everywhere around the Jax Metro because all of us are seeing at least a little bit of some action. Similar story, Clay County, Putnam County, Palatka, Keystone Heights, getting a few showers streaming their way on in. And the long and short of it, Lou, is that what we're seeing out there right now, you might as well just stamp it on each of the next 3 or 4 days because we're going to have at least this, if not more, than what we're currently seeing outside right now.
Especially Saturday and into Sunday too. This is your appetizer. This is your preparation for what's to come. Zoom back to the first little radar shot.
Okay.
So the kind of wider look, and they're perfect. So we talk about training and we talk about orientation of lines of showers, right? So sometimes, like we saw when Imelda was moving about 350 miles at its closest point, we had a couple waves of rain, but the line was oriented different. So where this is going from northeast to southwest, and just kind of you've got the train tracks set up, that training environment, right? So you get underneath one, and there's just another one coming behind it. With Imelda, it was the bands were situated kind of parallel with our coast. So when they hit the shore, they'd kind of fall apart. There wasn't enough juice behind it. So if you got underneath one, the cell was moving 25, 30 miles an hour. You were done with it, and then just that line would move to the west. This is the situation that is going to line up for our weekend, where one way or the other, whether it's northeast to southwest or just kind of clearly coming straight out off the beach east to west, you get underneath one of these and you may get a quick break, but there's another one very likely that's going to be coming with you. And that's what's going to add up our rainfall totals. We're kind of starting that now. So we're kind of, when we show you in a moment, and we'll get there later, but when we talk about rainfall throughout the duration of the event, we're going to start it now and we're going to go out towards Monday, and we're kind of going ahead and getting the 10th, a quarter of an inch in certain spots tonight, and then more to come over the next few days.
Yeah, I think it's going to just keep the grass wet and a little soggy, and by the time it might begin to dry out just a little bit, you're going to get another shower rolling on in. So keep that towel handy when you're drying off the paws of your dog, or your pets out there.
Yeah,
we always have at least one or two. I'm thinking about this in the sense of this is going to be a 2-towel weekend.
Sure.
Because you're probably going to go through one towel, wiping off the paws.
You're
going to have to go to the second towel probably by Sunday.
And that's a real good point. And those towels, keep them handy, back of the truck. The umbrella, the poncho, the towel, because of Friday Night Football, we're going to think about that needing to maybe dry off the bleacher seat if you get caught underneath one of these. Winds will be a story. Already kind of are. We've seen 20-mile-an-hour steady, sustained. We've seen higher gusts. Currently seeing those gusts in St. Simons up to near 30, and that's just it's steady, and it's going to stay that way. Maybe even ramping up a bit as we go Friday into Saturday.
And it's a shame Mayport's not reporting right now, because they did have wind gusts earlier today, upwards of about 35 to almost 37 miles per hour. So that's also going to be a contributing factor to the reason why we have some of these coastal alerts in effect.
100%.
We've had coastal flood advisories for Nassau, Camden, Glenn counties, but coastal flood watches have now kind of been put in place of the advisories for Duval County, St. John's, Clay, Putnam. So kind of that tealish, almost jaguar color. That's where that coastal flood watch is in effect, and that's going to run through at least Sunday night here across the First Coast. So we're going to have to start to watch not only for the freshwater, flooding with the training showers, but also just with that persistent, strong northeast wind. Do we get some, nuisance coastal flooding in some of our areas?
Seems likely. So watch our times of high tide, and we'll be talking about that through the evening and through your weekend as well. We'll kind of remind you of those things. So a tropical update, a few things to note. So Imelda now post-tropical, kind of just a remnant low out there. So it's kind of come and gone, and it's moving to the north. And now 2 shaded areas in yellow. We're going to talk about the one over Florida in a minute, but what we see out in the middle of the Atlantic, that 20% chance of development over the next 7 days, that's the one that we're going to have to watch beyond 7 days. We're going to need to watch that for probably a couple, maybe 10 days to 14 days. I mean, we're talking long way out, but it definitely requires attention. Okay, no reason to be concerned. It's just an area to watch because some models have it developing. Some models do not. We're looking at our 2 main global models now with your GFS and your Euro, and you see those 2 little circles there near the Lesser Antilles.
That's a week out.
And now we're talking, a week from today. So that's a long time to be waiting for something to be just barely encroaching the Caribbean at that point. And then, does it truly hold its act together? Euro says yes. Euro is going to have it kind of meandering around. GFS will too in the long range, long term, getting out, beyond 10 days, maybe doing a little dance in the Caribbean. But that's just some long-range models. A lot still has to happen. This could have totally could have recurve out to the sea written all over it. It could be something that doesn't develop at all, or the other potential outcome is it gets into the Caribbean, gets in that warm water, and finds itself becoming a storm we need to really track. So potential there, but a long way. So just as we do every day, we kind of talk here at 4:30 every day. Why not check in with us, and we'll keep you updated on that.
So that's a bit more of a talker for next week, for this weekend, and even into early next week. This is kind of the setup we have currently over the First Coast. So we've got that big kind of ridge or bubble of high pressure, that surface high, up across the Mid-Atlantic and New England states, Lou. That's going to not only build, but also slide a little bit further southward, kind of right over New Jersey, New York even. And to our south, or maybe I should start with, we kind of have a coastal trough set up right along us. But then to our south, really by the end of this week and into the weekend, there's going to be kind of an area of low pressures. Some models are showing an actual low developing, others are not. But the key point here is big high to our north, a broad area of low pressure to our south, and it's almost kind of creating a wedge or a funnel of not only moisture, bringing in the showers and the rainfall that we're expecting, but also some stronger winds, bringing us those wind gusts 30, 35 miles per hour, especially out at the beaches in our coastal areas. So this is kind of the nor'easter conditions we've talked about. This is what's causing a lot of that here over the next couple of days.
And that would be that yellow area to watch over Florida.
Yes.
So that's why they have that 10% chance of development over Florida. And a interesting thing about that map is that wind tunnel gets created between high and low, and it also creates areas of convergence. So the air masses come together, you get that collision. So where you might have, obviously tropical air mass with all that moisture, you get those collisions, and it happens in such kind of a narrow tube almost, that pinpointing exactly where the convergence happens, that's really tough, and modeling is going to have a tough time pinpointing that exactly because it could be a couple of miles wide. But when you get that happening, that's where the training sets up. That's where you're talking about getting 4, 5, 6 inches in a small area over the course of an event, and then flash flooding could occur. So that's why we have our weather impact alert. We got to watch for that type of event, especially at our beaches, but some of these will have the potency to get out further west. But we got to watch through our weekend into Monday, heavy showers, coastal conditions with dangerous surf and seas, and that potential for some isolated flooding. And so backup plans for the weekend. I've already had the question about Saturday morning tee times. I've had the questions about we've got some festivals happening out and around that are at least scheduled for now. And the best thing I can tell you is have indoor backups, or at least take a lot of rain gear with you as those winds really pick up through the evening, and we can hear the rain falling on off. I know it distracted me. You probably can't hear it through the microphones. We're getting a pretty good downpour over us downtown here near the bank.
Or is that the upstairs bathroom?
Could be both. Could be both. You never know. Might be rattling.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, a little ground truth.
Yeah.
We can see it raining there over Lake Blaylock.
Look at the contours, those bright reds and purples that swing on in by Saturday afternoon. Some of those are showing gusts. Look at Fruco. I mean, again, this is all model data, but showing a wind gust of 30 miles per hour. So not only will the conditions on land be rough, but out at the beach head. And, of course, anyone thinking, it's going to be a great weekend to get out on the boat? No.
Nope.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Probably stay off the boat just in general this weekend. It's going to be choppy as heck out there.
Yeah, any experienced mariner, anybody been doing it for a little while would know this is not the weekend. And there's kind of that convergence, that wind tunnel effect between the high to the north, the low to our south. That's kind of, we were talking that low picking up maybe a little bit of energy over the peninsula of Florida. We don't think chances of it truly developing, becoming perhaps a depression in that 10% range from the Hurricane Center in the next 2 days to 7 days. So whether something develops or not, the low looks like it will be there, and we will have our trough. So with that, we've got those windy days ahead. And Friday's one that, just kind of that on the top or the front end of that bell curve as we're riding it up, breezy and winds to 30.
So we are considering these windy days, not breezy as hell days.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's a difference.
Yeah, I think breezy as hell, as I referenced in our afternoon session of meeting with the other news people. I think, it might be a parallel to windy. I wanted to add that extra emphasis.
Yeah.
So you hold on to your hat. You use extra toupee glue if that is your jam. I say let it flow.
I do think it's because the sustained winds aren't necessarily super windy.
Right.
But every once in a while, you're going to get a strong gust that will make it feel windy from time to time. So certainly understand that.
And we're not doing weather impact alerts necessarily because of wind. I mean, unless we're getting, tropical storm force gusts that can cause severe damage. And then, of course, we would. That's not why, but it's the driving of the rain and the feeding of the moisture off the beach that is why we're doing it. And the higher res model here kind of doing its best to pinpoint some shower locations. We'll watch it. And these are things we think about in the morning and the afternoon. So it's all day potential for waves of rain. So you got to think about the commutes and lunch hour and evening commute as well. So have that handy. And for Friday night, we are seeing there are modeling hinting at breaks for some. When it comes to the rain.
And that's why we didn't put the raindrop on all of them.
Yeah.
Because some of the games tomorrow night might be dry, but there are certainly others that could have some of those streaming showers moving on in, making things a little bit, damp and wet out there for both the players and the fans.
Yep. So maybe in St. Johns County, Creekside, you're doing okay. I still think take a poncho, pack it in the bag, and a towel to dry off the bleachers. Game of the week. We were talking Toros and Barracudas going at it. The battle of the exits in St. Johns County. And, those early showers, here's what's going to happen. And we're going to tell you that the showers will be around and it'll be dry, and then one of those things is going to line up right over you, and you're going to get dumped on for the first half. So please be prepared one way or the other, right? So each of these games kind of, when you're trying to pinpoint specific neighborhoods, I just want you prepared for the rain. And then Saturday, not breezy, but in fact windy. with those training showers on moving on shore.
And we are in the frame of thought that each day we're going to just like very incrementally increase the amount of moisture and overall rain coverage. So we're going like 60% coverage tomorrow, 70% for your Saturday, and then even more so by Sunday. You mentioned some of the festivals out there.
Show me.
I'm glad Brock Hardesty, one of our assignment desk editors up there, mentioned the St. Mary's Seafood Festival taking place pretty much all day on Saturday. I believe they have a 5K and a 10K being run. I believe it starts at 7:30 or 8 a.m. There's a parade up there at 10 a.m. tomorrow or on Saturday morning.
Let's go.
And then there's a whole bunch of different, music and people taking the stage kind of throughout the day and into the evening. So all day long, you're going to have the chance for some rain. I don't want to say yet that you're going to be completely locked into rain or anything like that, because it is going to be dependent, as Lou mentioned, where those training showers do set up. But take some good shoes.
Yeah.
Take the umbrella. Just be mindful. It's a very good chance there will be rain.
The vendors setting up all those tents that you see right there, anchor them up good. Don't need those flying.
Well, and especially, they're in St. Mary's, right along the water because it's in downtown. Gusts up to at least 30 probably there on the Saturday afternoon.
Windy day for that. And we see our excessive rain risk, so this would be our marginal potential of seeing the flash flooding. Be curious, haven't bumped this up to slight. Interesting, but...
And this is going to be for Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
The maps are pretty much identical.
Okay. So we just know that we've got that risk and know how it's highlighted essentially 301 to the beach, and then all up into southeast Georgia as well. We have those nor'easter conditions really ramping up. The wind barb's telling a big story. You can almost kind of see how some are rotating and coming in around the high, others from the south coming in around that low. You get convergence, you get the wind tunnel effect happening, and so you get that band of showers that'll be running. And these, might very well, could be oriented from the southeast running northwest. But either way, you've got kind of that straight line coming across.
And not all of them will just be light showers either. I mean, we could have some pretty steady rain, some heavier downpours, not only tomorrow, but Saturday and Sunday as well. So at times you might have misty and light showery conditions. At others, rounds of actual heavy rain. So the localized flooding concern or threat will continue here over the next couple of days, and through Monday, our coastal areas more than likely going to have the best chance to see the most rainfall, at least 2 to 4, Lou, perhaps a few locations with some locally higher amounts above 4 inches.
Yep, just depends on where things, the training lines up. One thing we haven't shown a lot of with our forecasting is the lightning icon, when we're talking about thunderstorms. So that chance actually a little bit lower, just how shallow everything tends to be. Now, maybe that bumps up as we get into Monday. We see maybe a little more convective energy possible, so we could get a couple of rumbles of thunder, and we could have it in any one of these cells as well. But right now, that lightning potential stays low, which brings us to Jags and Chiefs.
Yeah, and you mentioned
Monday Night Football.
The lightning threat. If there is one on Monday, I think it's probably before kickoff.
Sure.
Of course, Monday Night Football kicking off at 8:15 there over at the bank, but still a chance for some rain on Monday evening.
Yeah, we'll watch. We'll fine-tune Monday night forecast best as possible, but it looks like a wet tailgate and perhaps some rain even as we get towards kick. We'll come right back. We're going to have our college football picks. It's a tradition around here. Ross is kicking my butt right now. Let's take a short break, and we'll do that on the other side.
Lou, we've talked a little bit of NFL football
Yes,
for
we
the
did.
for the Jags forecast on Monday night. Let's talk a little bit college football this weekend. Best place to probably watch some football is going to be up in Athens.
Yep.
North Georgia, probably the nicest weather. Looking pretty sunny, dry up there.
Noon kick, and
Yeah.
they're not roasting. You know
For-
what I mean?
yeah, for once.
But might actually be pretty solid. Looking at certainly having the rain chances for Gainesville, they're going to be dealing with a similar thing if the rain makes it all the way to Alachua County. And Tallahassee, don't have to worry about it too much in the Panhandle. So should be,
There might be one or two.
yeah, it should be, but
Not enough to put the rain icon on.
right. But breezy nonetheless, because they still will have those impacts from our high and our low.
And all three of those games on our picks here this week.
Yes. So let's do it. Ross is currently up by 2 games on me, but I have an opportunity to either come clawing back, or get my butt kicked even more, which is unfortunate. But we're going to go line item by line item. Kentucky, Georgia, we're both going with the dogs.
We are both going with the dogs. There we go.
Both going with the dogs. All right. This is where we get a little different.
You didn't like that?
Well, I mean, I did like it. That's adorable.
Okay.
Toby didn't like it.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Texas at Florida. We're different here. You think this is the one that saves Billy Napier's season
I
and
do.
keeps him around for another year. He gets a big upset in the swamp. I, on the other hand, don't feel that way. I think Texas kind of keeps on rolling.
Now, I think
rolling
Ben Hill
right
Griffin.
along.
I think Ben Hill Griffin Stadium's got some magic down there.
Yep.
On Saturday afternoon.
Yep.
I know Lee Southwick is going down to the game.
Yes, she is.
And maybe she just sprinkles a little fairy dust on her Gators.
I'm rooting-
and they get the win. Florida always somehow pulls one
Yep.
upset or a game that they're not supposed to win, and I think that might be the one this week.
I thought their opportunity might have been LSU, but it most certainly wasn't. We'll see if this is the one. I don't think it is. But this is where another one where we differ. We talked about this yesterday. Oh, it'd be a big upset. I don't think it would be a big up. It would be an upset. But I guess Vandy having to go to Tuscaloosa and do it there would be, a little bit eye-opening. But Vanderbilt is a top 25 team. They can eat some clock. So I'm going to go Vandy on this one.
Yeah, I think Diego Pavia's undefeated run here this year comes to an end against
Bama.
Bama.
It would be magic if they keep doing it. Woo, Vandy flirting with it. And then we do both go Miami here at Florida State, though I mentioned this might be a layup yesterday.
I don't think it's a layup.
I don't think it is a layup either. I think I misspoke.
Because Florida State they got embarrassed last Friday night against UVA up in Charlottesville.
They're going to come back with a vengeance. I think so, and they're going to get coached up. So I apologize for my Florida State fans for saying it was going to be a layup. It's probably, since I picked Miami, Florida State's probably going to end up winning. But just an opportunity here.
And important to note, UGA, Bama and Vandy, and of course Miami and Florida State. You can all watch those games right here on ABC 25.
ABC
on,
25 stuff.
Saturday.
I love what a big time it's going to be, and then of course Monday Night Football.
And then Monday Night Football.
Right here as well. So a lot of good stuff coming up on our airwaves. Remember, we've got that weather impact alert for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Friday's no cakewalk either. We're going to have those chance of showers, just a little bit less coverage as opposed to Saturday, Sunday. Some higher rainfall totals could get several inches by the time we get to Monday.
And then looking ahead to the middle part of next week, perhaps a little bit more dry time, but by next Wednesday, next Thursday, we might be watching the tropics very, very closely.
Yep. So have that in mind. Have us tuned in at 4:30 each and every day, and I'll see you at 5 o'clock on First Coast News. Y'all have a good one.